Cold start. Good afternoon, good evening, LinkedIn friends, Valley First Nation. Welcome to another episode of Valley First AI Daily, your collaborative intelligence report. It is Wednesday, August 12th, 2026. How are you, Nico? Some fun new gadgets.
Yeah, yeah. You know, through a little happenstance yesterday or the other day, um, had to get a new new smartphone. So we picked up the new S26, and it's so far so nifty. There's just like an overabundance of AI everything on it. Um, transcribes everything. Apparently, if somebody starts talking in another language and I have like transcribe on, it just automatically switches and just starts transcribing that language for me. Um, it's it's pretty neat. Now, there's like a little brief that you get that is automatically generated for you with AI based on your calendar and your schedule and your Gmail and your interests and stuff like that. Just kind of pulls all that together for you. So I'm waiting to see, what other nifty things maybe lurking, but so far so amazing. And then of course the 120 frame per second video. So I mean I love Google. I know you love Google. I think about the only because I love taking pictures and I love shooting videos. So I think about the only smartphone I would get other than Samsung if I was going to get one would be Kodak's, just for you know legitimate, like just for obvious reasons. Um, but yeah, having stumbled into that one was pretty ridiculous because I've shot at 60 frames per second, and it if you've never seen on like somebody's phone what it looks like, 30 frames per second is what you see all the time. You see it on YouTube, you see it on TikTok. Like almost every TikTok video is 30 frames per second. um, 60 frames per second looks weird because it looks more real than 30 frames per second. I know that sounds odd, but basically, to the best way I can explain it is like 30 frames per second is like easy on your eyes or something like that, to where it's like it's a smooth slow. So it's like the slowest you could go with frame rate without making it look like jerky per se. Movies are all filmed at 30 frames per second. TV, anything that's on film, typically done at 30 frames per second. 60 frames per second, you're adding another 30 into that same second. So you're basically enabling more motion, more detailed motion. So where it was like, I don't want to say interpreting, but you're basically taking the same motion, but you're cutting it, only 30 frames. Now you've added more in between so it's more fluid. It's the difference between like old 80s 90s cartoons and like the newer Disney animated stuff, right? Like Tarzan was a huge difference in animation for Disney by comparison to everything that came before Tarzan. 120 frames per second, the best way I can explain it when you're switching through it is that like 120 is as close to your eyesight frame rate as it gets. I think like the best way I could explain it is like it's as close to reality as you can get for video. So I think if you tweaked it a little bit, it makes me think that like I guess we probably view things that maybe it's a little under, so maybe we view things at like 135, 140 or like 150, but it's something like that. Like moving your hand through it is makes it very easy easy to see. When you go from 30, you're like, oh, okay. And then you go to 60 and it's like, oh, okay. I see that difference. And then you go to 120, it's like, huh. But that's what my hand really looks
Real
like when
time.
it's doing this, right? Like
Yeah.
even now, if you guys are watching this video, you're seeing a little bit of like blend or bleed in between like my fingers as they move like that, right?
Yep.
At 120, you don't. You see it as if you were just sitting in front of me looking at it. You see each individual finger. There's no blurred motion, like no weirdness to it. Moves in real time, like real time. Like
Yeah.
that's the best way I can explain it. Is like anything that's under, I guess, right? Like anything that's under about 140 or 135 frames per second is not real time,
Yeah.
which is so weird to me now, right? Because like now even using the term real time now means something totally different to me. And I never would have thought of any of this or stumbled onto any of this without just seeing that feature and like enabling that and
Right.
seeing what that looks like.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
crazy.
when you talked about this, and I kind of felt this way last year when I picked up the Pixel 10 as like the first um one of the first phones to have like AI baked in,
Mhm.
right? I like I do. Like you said you're getting a new phone. I was like, "Oh, let me see. Let me see what's out there." Um uh
What we got cooking?
Especially since you were talking about the fold, and like the Pixel Fold was always on the possibilities list. I like searched it up and I was like, "Oh, Google announced today." And then I watched Marcus Brownlee's video about it. And it's so interesting. Like he's like, I'm always waiting for Google to jump, to make this innovative jump. They never do. Yet still one of the smartest phones. Like when you get into their OS and
Yeah.
just all the features of usability that show up everywhere, it's like like I don't it can look exactly the same. If you tell me that AI is baked into everything and that makes sure everything works faster and these feature sets start popping up, like yes, like
Yeah.
all day, like at and like we're already at the point where we shouldn't feel it. Like
I mean, like
and how
it's
easy for it is it for these reviewers. And it's like everything that you any commentary that's built on the old way, it's like, all right, we're going to look at cameras, we're going to look at uh, you know all these like battery life.
yeah.
They don't even know like all of the things to look for now that AI could impact. So like just because the photo lens is not like next generation, like don't sleep on it, right? If you care about all this quality of life and stuff just working better and faster and like yeah,
You
like
know,
we're just in a moment right now.
with that, I gotta say, and this is at least this is major to me, and I'm just gonna, I'm not one of those that's bashful about it. So, the following is not the opinions of Value First or Value First AI Daily as a show. These are explicitly the opinions and personal opinions of Nico Lafakis. The lineup for Unbound, to me, the main stage lineup, horrific. Twas horrific. I mean, I have zero interest in any of those people. I don't care if they own AI companies. I don't care if they dabble in AI. I would rather see Mila Jovovich up there. At least she actually developed something that millions of people used, right? It's not like she dabbles and knows somebody or like invested in a company that does stuff. Um, thankfully, thankfully, I don't know, maybe HubSpot listened, maybe they heard some murmurs. I don't care. But thankfully, the lineup has been I shouldn't say changed, but it has been um yeah, it's been enhanced. I'll just say it that way. It's much better now. Um, I should say at least there are some better main stage speakers. So starting off at least for announcement wise, there's Carla Hassan from JP Morgan Chase. if you don't think that, like, so like, and yeah, I'll just hit on top of all of them. JP Morgan Chase, she's global chief marketing officer. That aspect of it should enable anybody and everybody who's at all interested in how AI is reshaping the speed at which marketing is unfolding. That's where you want to be. And especially the fact that Jamie Dimon rolled out AI within JP Morgan Chase like 3 years ago. So if you're wondering about AI rollout to your marketing teams, how that unfolds, what's the best way to go about it, like that's where that's all gonna be at. I don't know that she's gonna be speaking about these things. I just know that that's the person that you want to try to get 5 minutes with. To your point, Chris, Richard Seroter from Google Cloud, senior director and chief evangelist. So not necessarily, in the weeds per se, but knows what's going on and can at least give you a heads up on like what's happening and maybe give you a little bit of a teaser as to like what's coming in the next few months. We'll see. Would love to see if we can get again like 5 minutes with him just to talk about Gemini and see what's going on with the shift over there with Demis. Kimberly Stroen from Zoom, right? This to me is a pretty big one because Zoom is obviously the standing juggernaut when it comes to video calling. So figuring out where AI is folding into what they are doing beyond just the transcription aspect of things. So it would be, awesome, especially on my end, to be able to just get a few minutes. For me, it's always about the okay. So what are you going to do now that XYZ can do this? So like now that chat can handle transcribing calls, what you doing? Now that Gemini can handle transcribing my calls, what you doing? Right? Like so what's going on under the hood? What do they maybe have next? Again, like what direction are they looking at that is specific to their niche that maybe somebody else can't touch, and what are they, how are they playing off of that? Big one. Just big one. President and co-founder Martin Camacho of Suno. If you use Suno, if you know about Suno, if you've heard music from Suno, this one is huge for me, at least. I'm sure it's huge for Chris as well. And again, anybody that's into this product, have wanted to talk to anyone from Suno for months now, and am so glad that Camacho is going to be there. Really hope that somehow I can bump into him, score 5 minutes, just to be able to talk about what I've seen, at least from my end, and would love to get his viewpoint of where are the artists that you are working with, right, who are actually leveraging this, and what does that like look like in the wake of all of this, I wouldn't say all of this like Luddite pushback, but all of this pushback against AI music, like especially in the last month and a half, there's just been this huge pushback in terms of like, oh my gosh, AI music is garbage, this, that, and the other thing. And it's like, yeah, but maybe not really. Like maybe kind of get into it more. And I'm seeing ads on TikTok where artists are essentially jamming on a guitar and teaching themselves how to do riffs, or adding what they do to the background of some track that they put together. So they're using it in the same way, right, that like now in the same way as software development. I remember having this discussion with somebody a few months ago about the fact that starting your own software development company now is a matter of like maybe two, maybe three people at most, right? And you're off and running. So before, where you may have needed at least probably $900,000, close to $1 million just to get off the ground. You'd have to buy a building, you'd have to hire a bunch of people, salaries, and all this stuff. Now it's like three people working remotely, vibe coding away, any and all necessary utilities at their disposal. The costs on using this stuff is just plummeting. And so it enables people to have more businesses. This to me is just another way of enabling us to have more music, to have more bands. to have more choice, right? Like there's nothing wrong with that to me. It's like I want to get your take on that. Like to me, it's I'm finding this odd thing where the best way that I can explain it is that people are actually fighting against and or pushing against abundance. Like they don't want it to happen for some reason, for a lot of reasons, but the reasons that they give don't make very much sense. All of the reasons they give are almost in the sense of like, yeah, but you shouldn't do that because it's not difficult enough.
Yeah. No, it's there's so much identity tied to things related to scarcity or, you know, specialness, um, based on, you know, societal categorization. I'll just say that. um, that's just like, even if it's not great, it's still who you are. And when you don't know that that's going to be true in the future, it's like, oh, I don't like that because I don't know. In most cases, they have no idea what they're going to do. Like instead, which is why we do this content, lots of things that you could do instead, like the cool game that Nico's been building. Um, but yeah, there's so much like it's interesting, right? Because like it's can be as simple as like use AI to be more human, right?
Mhm.
Because like, and I used to have my mom back in the day. Don't always see eye to eye on various, you know, society, cultural stuff, right?
Yep.
And like so many arguments break down when the human's right in front of you. Like the thing like otherism as an example, like that same human gets put in front of you, like most of the stuff you say like goes out the window. Like, oh, I wasn't think and it's literally they're not gonna say this, but it's literally, oh, I wasn't thinking of you as a fellow human being. Like you were a number on a screen, or you were like this you know, caricature of a person.
Mhm.
Now that you're here and we are connecting,
Things are
my
very
value
different.
set just completely changed,
Yeah.
right? Because we are like 98% the same, like DNA wise, right?
Yep.
So that's where it's like, how do we always, you know, make that ever present is what I'm thinking about. We did a Road to Unbound show today where it's like, it's so awesome to see the way that they've built out like the whole thing to like force conversational experiences instead of like sit in a room, get presented to, probably get pitched to. Like there's so many more workshops and gathering spaces. And it's not just HubSpot, like some people that would normally be speaking from the stage, like holding lots of group activities, group workshops, like smaller things that's like it's going to be hard to not talk to anybody like basically, which
Yep.
I did back in 2023. I did as many sessions as I could. You know, which worked for my social anxiety. 'Cause I didn't know anybody. I was brand new to the ecosystem. So I just like, all right, I'm getting value. I'm doing all these sessions. Like the next year was like went to like 3 sessions. Like as much human contact as I could.
Yep.
But that, you know, there was a strategy leading up to inbound that was like, all right, I'm gonna do a bunch of content, get seen online. That way people won't be afraid to come up to me and then I don't have to start the conversation. Right? Like this moment of and with AI specifically, like you can be enabled to handle all the other stuff to allow you to show up differently or show up as who you are without concern for the usual, you know, scarcity concerns. Because when you peel back the layer, oh, that thing's not scarce anymore. There's no
Yep.
scarcity there, right? Oh, I can just ask AI. Oh, it's built into my phone. Oops. Like literally, that's what's happening on our phones, in HubSpot, when we talk to Claude. It's like you can't avoid it. And that's the optimistic part, is like humans can't help themselves when the dopamine hits, right? Right?
No, that's
So
that's
no matter how, you think about it going in, when you're like, "Oh, all right, let me see about this, Nico." Type in the prompt, like, "Oh, that was not what I expected." It's like change. You see people's mindset around AI change like in an instant.
yep.
And it's not that they're like 100% bought in, but they're nowhere near where they were like minutes ago, right? And that seeing that click, knowing that that's what it takes with every human, like, is what gives me optimism, because it's infrastructure, right? It's like hard to find folks, you know, say in first world, that have not experienced electricity, right?
Yep.
And that's we're quickly approaching that, with AI, right? So, where do you want to go today? We want to go top three, or we want to hit the flywheel?
Um, let's yeah, can do flywheel. I'll go real quick. Um, we've added some when yeah we've added some features, and by way of some music now for the main menu, and then kind of have that like spread throughout a bit. So if you're in the settings menu, or if you're in the shop,
You must have brought, your sound engineer, into mess with the music a little bit, find the right vibe.
yeah, because that's literally what we did, was just like, hey, let's take a look at other games. Let's take a look at what people's preferences are, especially when it comes to this genre. And then let's take a look at the settings and develop the sound and music based off of that, right? So it's like, if you're shopping and you're in the shop, it's like, oh, that's a very nice place. Kind of calms you down, relaxes you, like makes you want to browse and look around, right? Take your time, because it's nice and slow music as opposed to being quick fast. So yeah, so every level, with the exception of Sandbox, has its own music to it, and then have a little call out for picking up your next skin when you actually when you get enough coins for it, what your best score is, and there should be more to this, like coming soon, fairly soon, with yeah, there we go, got him in there. Okay. So yeah, so finally we can have setting up your own profile for this, and then you'll be able to actually have records get recorded, and other players will be able to see like each other's records on the different boards. So you'll have like be able to do some competition. And I think the biggest change is, well, I mean, obviously the music is a pretty big change. Also put some time into like the effects to change those up a little bit and make them sort of make more sense instead of being so weird. And the performance mainly was one of my biggest issues, was like, getting this to perform well, not only on desktop, but also on mobile. And some of the maps have like really massive, really massive settings. So it makes it like really difficult to actually get anything done and not end up falling into this trap of like, oh, well, I can't actually move anywhere because the game and the buildings and everything are too big anyway. So yeah, so now we're able to actually topple massive buildings and stuff like that without running into that issue as much.
It looks a lot smoother.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I spent a lot of time on performance today, just to make sure that people have like a much better experience when you're playing the game. Like, obviously, don't want it to be the case um, where you're playing and you don't like it, essentially because of the fact that it's so slow for your phone or whatever the case may be, and it obviously shouldn't be. It was one of those things where, like, hey, how come everybody else can do it but I can't? Oh, and I want to show this. Let's see. It may not crash right there. Okay, let's see if we can get it to crash.
Some train action. What? Let's watch this train wreck.
Yep. I couldn't. It fell down there, but it falls down on the ground now, so that you can actually capture the train as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you break the train tracks, then the train will actually fall through the tracks. So yeah, it's it's, to me, it's really getting there. I think at this point, the only thing that I've got left is like doing multiplayer, getting that like really worked out, and I think now it's up to 8 players. Getting some game modes worked out, multiplayer, AI, so there can be like a little bit of a battle aspect of it. There's going to be a timer, obviously, and then I think, and then power ups, and I think that's There's always like more like little things to like sprinkle in, but
phase
and
1.2.3.8,
basically, as it keeps getting updated.
Yeah, looking good.
Yeah,
man.
Very much looking forward to gonna get this out to people over time, little by little. I think everybody is getting a link to it at some point, and very much looking forward to having the scoreboard be a little bit filled up by the time other people jump into it, just to get some competition going, see what happens.
I like it. Time for a speed round. Top 3. Let's see what we got. Anthropic, an asset manager in Singapore's sovereign wealth fund, launched Theseus infrastructure to build AI data centers at scale. 2 investors own the platform and put up most of the equity per project, with the model developers signed on as an anchor tenant and an initial focus on the United States.
Huh. That's super interesting to me. I have to wonder. The only thing, look, it's not like OpenAI isn't making deals with other countries too. Like, they are legitimately the top provider to Saudi Arabia, I believe. Like, essentially, like, Saudi Arabia actually, as a government, pays for its citizens to have ChatGPT memberships. It's the sickest thing I've ever heard of in my life. Also, the most amazing thing I've ever heard of in my life. Also, the most socialist thing I've ever heard of in my life. Like, they legitimately said, hey, everybody should be able to use the smartest thing possible for free. That's amazing. Anthropic pulling this move, the first thing that comes to mind, oddly, maybe, is, well, if we can't control your progress by way of hardware, we'll suck up your money and your infrastructure so that you can't make progress that way. I don't see it as any other play. I'm sorry. Like,
Anthropic will cover electricity price increases that consumers otherwise may face from these sites.
That's awesome, honestly.
Yeah.
That's a first.
Yeah.
And you know what? Maybe that's the case, right? Like, how funny is this to me? Like, I mean, to me, it's hilarious, but how funny is it that the companies that mainly run this stuff are like BlackRock, they're the companies you don't want running this stuff, right? The ones that are building most of this infrastructure. But the people using it are making the most money off of it. Like the people like, and what I mean like is the people using the compute. So OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, they're making the most money off of this infrastructure. It's not the infrastructure companies. They're making like piddle scraps, like by comparison. It's not even funny. So to me, I think it's utterly hilarious if OpenAI and Anthropic just completely circumvent the power companies and the infrastructure companies and pay the bills for the peoples, for the electricity, for the data centers that they are sucking the power out of. I will forever laugh if that starts being the case across the US. Like legitimately, I'll just start laughing so hard because at that point, what are you going to do? Pass a law against paying people back for this? I mean, like,
I mean,
right.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's like some infrastructural reason that has blocked them from doing that, like already. Like, because the data center vibe in the US is not great. And it's large to do with things like bills and, kind of misunderstood environmental impact and things like that. But when you've got all this like competition when it comes to electric prices, like power to choose down here in Texas, like um yes, one person paying all those bills, like you can't
Man,
what do you there's no competition like anymore. Um and you probably don't want to charge like your AI source.
right,
You don't want to get on their bad side.
right,
Yeah. So it's interesting to like it's gonna come over at some point, but that's what it looks like. Like there's already precedent for it. Like
yeah,
government's paying for this stuff and just here's access, right? Like you have access to clean water.
right.
Um, Speaking of our wonderful government, uh,
This one's easy. Like this is going to go as well as it did for social media. Actually, it's going to go horrifically worse, right? So like the social media hearings were bad enough where it was just like, well, thank you for being here, Mr. Zuckerberg. Maybe you can help me figure out my password while you're here, right? Now it's legitimately going to be like, yeah, but how did you put my face on that donkey, right? Like it's going to be so dumb, so dumb. Like we will legitimately see how dumb most of Congress is through these hearings. I like this is just embarrassing for them more so than it is for the AI companies. Like unless they have a special like AI group, that's a different story. I'll like no problem. I'll watch the C-SPAN on that. That sounds pretty good. But if it's just like open-ended, oh, that's not so
yeah.
good. It's too many old
I
people up
mean,
there.
I'm sure
You know
they
what I mean?
have a special committee, but like there's still old people on that committee too.
Way too old.
And like, but even like, yeah, I mean, this
They're not going to
speaks to
understand this.
what our
They're
system
not
is. They
going to
don't have
understand it.
time. Like they have to spend so much time raising funds. You got aides all over the place where the aide hands them like, everywhere else we talk about, you don't get to learn AI unless you're using and building with AI. And so if you're expecting to understand like what kind of questions could you even ask to like that somebody hands you on a piece of paper? It's like, well, it's not a good thing that these things are breaking out, right? Like,
It's
yeah,
about as
good job.
complicated as it's going to get for all of them.
Like it's like, well, my constituents are worried. Why shouldn't they be? It's like, all right, here's another explanation that you're gonna understand. Moving on. Moving on. Uh Meta released Muse Glimmer. Is this a repeat?
It looks
I
like a repeat.
think it's a repeat.
Huh.
Yeah. Come on, folks.
I don't know that it is. Maybe.
Like, we definitely talked about Muse Glimmer under Apache 2.0.
Was
Yeah,
it Muse
Meta's doing
Glimmer? Is
stuff.
there a Muse Spark? Like, this is what
Yep,
I hate about these
we
things,
did.
right? So, like, so I think it was Spark because the only reason I think that is because this jumps out to me with the under 20 gigabyte requirement um,
Oh, yeah.
for VRAM, right? Because the last one was like 36 or something, right?
On a single consumer GPU. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't
So
remember
like
that.
this is now we're getting there, right? Now we're really getting there. And even if this was the same story as before, I didn't give it enough credit or something like that. Because now we're seriously getting there. Even if this model is like you guys really don't get it. Even if this model's not shit. That's the weird part. Is it's not shit. I don't know how good it is. It might be shit at coding. Okay, awesome. You can definitely tune it to be very awesome at something else, though. That's without a doubt, right? So, and 30 billion parameters, well more than enough. Not a big deal. Um, the fact that you can on-prem this to your own personal computer, like that should be like pretty awesome to most people, I think. Like that I think is amazing. Um, I'm sure plenty of people are going to say, "Yeah, Nico, where were you with the 20 billion parameter OSS model that came out?" Again, we're a year ahead of that, man. Like it's like again, you guys really don't get it. I guess I don't know what to tell you. OSS was awesome. It was like using GPT like 4.1. It was really good. No, it was more like it was more like 4, maybe like 4.1. Anyway, it was good, but it wasn't like that amazing. Um, it was good for what it was. And if you wanted to use it as like a very general chatbot for like your website, perfect. Perfect. Like that's what we're talking about here. Like all of these companies that have chatbots for their websites and that's all they have, but it's costing you XYZ amount of money or whatever. Now it's free. Like maybe that sinks in, right? I don't know.
Just looking back at our historical. At some point, we're gonna have articles that easily show what we talked about.
100 plus languages. I mean, yeah, like I I don't know. This is awesome to me because this is like well beyond GPT-4 and so far as I can tell, like it's free, right? Like this is what's so crazy to me is that we're already at the free like I mean we've been there, but we're at the free LLM stage where the LLM is like seriously viable and seriously usable. It's not just like free LLM and it can do pictures and not really that well, but it can do pictures for free, right? We're even already at the point where like you can do really very decent video with sound and the effects and all that kind of stuff free. It's not easy. It's pretty complicated to do it, and the setups are complicated even from what I've seen. Nobody's bothered to put together a good user interface yet because that's where all your time would go. Anyway, um, again, like December changes everything. That's all I can say. December is going to change everything. By December, even this kind of thing, like a newer version of this model will be available for free and it will take even less resources than this model does. That's the other thing that like is crazy about this tech is that I don't know if you guys have noticed these models have become more and more and more and more available to the consumer level on a free basis. Even the models you have to pay for, the level of like, so people are like, oh my gosh, but it's costing more, and Opus 5 costs more, and Fable 5 is so expensive. The level of intelligence that you are getting per the dollar, I don't think anyone's doing that right? Like it's kind of like to me, like it's the whatever pennies per ounce when you're going to the grocery store or whatever. I really do think that people like somebody has to start doing the like intelligence per dollar calculation for this stuff because that's about the only way that people are going to start to have respect for how very little money you are paying for what you are getting. It's great. Like it's just crazy to me at this point. It's so crazy. We're going to have like you already have AI on your phone and you can use like GPT on your phone and stuff like that. You're going to have like on device AI, like on mobile device. Like you can go to a website and download a model onto your phone
Yeah.
that doesn't connect to any other service. It's just on your phone. And
Yeah.
that model will be as good as like Luna High is right now, which is amazing.
Yep.
Probably, I don't know, maybe not, maybe like Luna Low. I don't know what the compute is like at this point, but I just know that it's going maybe not Luna because it's like hundreds of a billion whatever, it's probably like 400 500 billion parameters. Um but still, like we're going to see something that's going to be open source that is going to be probably as good, like on the same level. It's going to compete at that level, like at a low model level, because it'll be probably seriously fine tuned, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm
I
looking forward to it.
found
Oh, what was it?
t- talked about it was Muse Glimmer, but from a different
Different
perspective.
perspective. Got it.
Being uh
Did it highlight the?
at full precision it needs 55 needs over 55
Got it.
gigabytes. So this one actually said like maybe not for local use, but then today's
Interesting.
story, right? Lots of layers to this stuff. But I just gotta, we give our agents, or I give my agents a hard time sometimes. We didn't we didn't do a show on on Friday, and I just stumbled upon what was prepared for Friday, and it's like HubSpot just had its worst trading day in 12 years. That was the top story on Friday. So not always homers. Um, uh, I just had to share. Like as I stumbled across this, I was like, "Oh, I don't remember talking about that at all."
Yeah. I
So
mean,
good job
yeah.
keeping it real, agent
Yep.
team.
Yep.
But yeah, everything that Nico just said relates to stuff like this happening when we have super powerful AI models on our phone that don't need to talk to the cloud.
Yep.
That means we don't need software subscriptions.
Yep. And it's
So
like
do the math.
every day my guys find new Git repos that somebody has put together something that rivals an enterprise level platform every day. It's super disgusting that they have a new story every day, and every day it's a new platform and it rivals some enterprise platform. It's it's blowing me away, honestly. Like I wasn't believing it at first, but I've been looking into each of the stories and it's just like, yeah, it is exactly what you guys are talking about. And this is like low level at this point, right? Not very many people know about it, but in I don't know. It's not going to take that long. December, bro. I don't know. Maybe be end of next year, right? December next year. I see it as you will download the Value First Marketplace app, and then you'll just install agents from there, and it's on your phone, and it won't even connect to Value First. It's just boom, you just download this Value First Market package, and it's just got all these like AI tools in it that you get to use on your phone for free. And they'll be like CRM tools, they'll be, revenue tools. It'll be like all sorts of stuff that, whatever you would want from some other software company, right? Like I just see it being that.
Mhm.
I
Yep.
just don't see this wall of like software anymore. I see it being this thing where people are just gonna like, oh man, like it's gonna get to the point where people are gonna start parting computers together without like operating systems on them and asking their laptop to build an operating system to put on a thumb drive so that they can put it on their new PC and then load their new operating system. And then it's like, oh wow, cool. I didn't even have to pay for Windows. Like this is awesome, right? Or didn't even have to pay for OS. I have my own OS the way that
Of
I
your
want it.
own.
Right. Oh yeah, by
Yep.
the way, it's like native with AI too. It's like it's already embedded, in the OS. Like that's 2 years from now, easily. That's 2 years from now. People are building custom computers with AI native operating system built into it on their own, very easily, like super easy request. 4 years
And
from
we'll
now,
be
you're asking your robot to do it for you.
oh, what a world that will be. We'll be here for it. We're gonna help everybody make it to that day without screwing things up. Uh, so we can focus on collaboration and not so much competition for once. And we'll be back tomorrow with more of that story, more of these stories, more flywheel, more. Maybe I'll have some builds ready to show. And yeah, everybody have a great rest of your Wednesday. See you next time.